friends, welcome to ITFI. Happy New Year to all, and hope 2021 makes us forget what 2020 was all about, right? Firstly, it has been a year since I started this channel, and I can't thank you all enough for the kind of love and support all have given to this channel. Thank you again. As I was born in the 80s, I can say that I've seen the evolution of television serials in India to an extent possible. I think in the mid 80s and early 90s, the Doordarshan was the single source of news, entertainment, knowledge, awareness, and advertisements. In fact, the first ever video I made for this channel is about Doordarshan and its timeless quality content back in the 80s and 90s, and you should definitely check it out when you get a chance. When private channels started showing up, they focused only on one thing, right? Yes, entertainment. People would start spending that extra money to subscribe to these private channels like Z, Star, Sun TV, Asianet, and all those other regional channels out there, depending on where they are, right? As these channels were private, their only mantra was to give a stiff competition to other channels, right, in that particular region and keep the audience hooked on to their channels as long as they can. Women who didn't work had entertainment options starting from dawn to dusk. Men who worked and came back home could sit and keep themselves occupied until they sleep. I think the most easiest form of content creation is what we call as TV serials, right? Which is also called the soap operas on the private channels. Now, one may question why these TV serials are pathetically conceptualized and produced while the web series on OTT platforms, most of them, are so much better in the production value and quality. The first problem lies in the fact that web series on OTT platforms have definitive start and end, right? First, there will be season 1, which will have around like 10 episodes. In other words, maybe 3 to 8 hours of solid content in a season. The production value of these web series is equal to or superior to even cinema, as people behind the camera or on the camera are generally critically acclaimed industry veterans. On the other hand, the goal of the TV serial producers is to churn out 8 to 15 hours of content every month. I think when they conceptualize a TV serial, their visibility is possibly limited to maybe 3 to 6 months of the content. I would say this is the honeymoon period for a TV serial. Then starts a forced drag period, right? That can be prolonged in any direction depending on what the audience want, and they can keep going on and on and on for years. TV serials are amazing, right? I have watched a few Hindi and Malayalam serials back in the days intermittently. All of them use similar storyline and concept. Their only mantra is to keep dragging things as long as they can and milk from the brand they created, right, in the name of the serial. And let's say you watch an episode a year back and you're watching one now, you don't feel like you missed anything during that 1 year of time, right? The serial makers would have survived for a year with forced twists and turns, and guess what? They would be back to the same point time and again and start over some other ridiculous twist. Now, what does it take to make a serial? You need to make sure that the cameraman unlearns everything that he or she learned in their training and only focus on zooming in and zooming out, even for those routine conversations. In parallel, the background musician needs to ensure that he has the thunderous music ready to play. One episode that possibly lasts for like 20 to 30 minutes at least should have like 10 such moments where they need to do the zoom in and zoom out with loud music. I have even seen this happen for some nimble moments like, hey, where is she now? I want to talk to her. And someone replies that she was sleepy and went to bed, and that itself qualifies for a zoom sequence. This is especially important right before the commercial breaks, right? So that people are eager to see what's going to happen next. Before the episode ends, they would also put some sort of suspense that would turn out to be someone's imagination or dream during the next episode. Now, as these serials are meant to keep the women glued to the TV, another rule of thumb is to have all women wear heavy jewelry and saris. No matter whether they are awake or asleep, they'll need to have few kilograms of jewelry, designer saris, and loads of makeup. Serials are the Game of Thrones for women of family, right? It could be the war between the Saas Bahu or one Saas and many Bahus. The costumes and makeup are very much reflective of the roles the characters play, right? The negative villainous women are shown to be wearing darker saris or salwars and with dark bindi lipstick and a weird looking bulky necklace. Another rule here is the lead actress of the serial is submissive, gifted with ideal values, and will be the one taking all the suffering on herself, and this can go for years and years with small wins intermittently to keep the audience morale boosted. The role of men in serials is mostly to look pretty and merely act as a tool in the hands of women, right? They are generally ideal husbands or father characters written to remain helpless spectators of the constant ongoing war between the Saas and the Bahus. Now, talking about the lead actress who is typically a Bahu, no matter what they are, they can be a CEO of a company, IPS or IAS officer, or even the Prime Minister or an astronaut. They might have sacrificed a lot to get to that position, but when they marry, They have to first prove to the husband's family how ideal a bahu or a wife she is, as her academic and professional credentials are secondary. Now, one difference I used to observe back in the days between Hindi and regional serials is that in Hindi, no matter what the economic situation of the character is, at minimum they will be living in a mansion that has minimum of 2 floors and gracious amount of space and home decor to make it all look grand and pretty. Eventually, with so many Hindi media powerhouses like Z and Star spreading their wings to the regional markets, they started to remake or dub many of their original Hindi serial or content to show the grandeur these channels can bring to these regional markets. Eventually, all original regional channels also started portraying their own version of grandeur, right? For this, they ended up having the bahu from a poor or a middle class family marry a rich husband to enter a big house so that all drama can happen in that big house. Now, with zillions of serials doing the rounds, the production houses have totally gone bonkers in terms of the finding creative ways to twist and turn the content, right? They even started making dead person resurrect mysteriously. This is an instant TRP boost, right? They can drag it along for a year, at least where audience are trying to figure out what the heck happened. Next time, when one of the lead actors dies, right? Don't worry, they will be back in 6 months. Another way to drag the series is by having one of the main characters meet with an accident and induce a memory loss or a coma. Generally, the male actors or the actors who go out and work on some other projects, right, in real life, are conveniently put on coma in the script until they're back. As these shows are generally based on close knit families, I don't think there is any serial out there where someone has not tried to poison the lead actor or lead character. But by grace of God, she survives, right? Another necessary ingredient is the illicit affair of someone in the serial, which remains a secret no matter how stupid the characters involved in the affair are in terms of keeping it a secret. I think serials in private channels were pretty much okay until 2000. The Balaji telefilms, led by Ekta Kapoor, took a revolutionary step to commercialize TV shows. To commercialize something means it should reach to larger audience, right? Her prime targets were the housewives who spent most of the weekdays at home involved in household chores. And damn, she hit the bullseye, right? The idea was to create a show which is relatable to them, which would fascinate them, and something which would hold them for a long time, giving rise to serial. That is, Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. The show created a buzz like never before, spanning for about like 7 to 8 years. The show covered multiple facets of human life, from adoption to abortion, from polygamy to divorce, from romance to affair. It showed every controversial issue out there, right? But most prominently, it had a female protagonist portraying an ideal daughter-in-law, wife, and a mother. The show gained huge TRP as it gave ladies a topic to gossip. Ekta decided to make a few more shows based on the same formula, but with a little variation in the theme, bang on. All of them were huge hits, and why not? More is always better than one, right? Everyone tried to follow her footsteps eventually. The effect of the show was so much that Smriti Irani was able to capitalize on it and to become one of the most prominent leaders of the Union Cabinet. Friends, as I end this video, I think we can keep roasting the TV serials, but they are here to stay, right? As long as people fall for it and continue to embrace it. Producers like Ekta Kapoor are looking for what is the next addictive sort of content to make on OTT platform or regular television. And can you blame them? No, because they are in the business of doing it. I think common man in India should stop yearning for 24/7 entertainment, sitting in front of idiot box forever. Try to pursue some hobbies, right? And be selective about what they consume on TV. Thank you very much everyone for your time. Let me know what you think about the future of television serials in India. Happy New Year again. Bye.